Well, hello everybody. Happy New Year and welcome to today's special week of Predictions Week on Beyond the Ordinary. It's the first time I've done this, but I was so called to gather just three of my favorite people that just not only can they read the field and have this incredible way of translating what they see and hear for other people and feel, but the hearts in which they do it with, the optimism in which it is shared, and how empowering that really is for us to receive when we're not only inspired, but also in need of support in that way. When someone can see through the shadows and point us into a place that is loving, is supporting, and but also extremely empowering because it tunes you back into the greatest power that you have, which is the love within you. Um, so I'm grateful for today's guest. She is a dear friend. She's absolutely amazing. A lot of y'all already know her. Uh, Kourtney Levens, welcome to today's call and thank you for being here and Happy New Year.
Thank you. And Happy New Year to y'all. I was just telling my husband, I was like, I feel like we didn't like 2023 like got somehow time warped and it went by really, really fast.
Mhm.
But I am very, very excited for 2024 and what I'm seeing in the energy, what the angels are saying is coming in. I really feel like this is something that um that's really gonna feel like a blessed year.
Mm.
So I'm really, really excited. So glad to be here. Thank you for having me. Love it. It's
Well,
like my second home, right?
I love it. Y'all, we're going to get into a lot of Q&A. So if you have questions you want to ask, a lot of y'all already raised your hands. Raise your hands in the chat box. Type any questions in if you don't want to be live on video and ask your question that way. So again, we're going to try to get through a lot of questions, but there's a couple of things I want to ask Kourtney about because I'm curious the messages and the insights that you're receiving. So, Kourtney, when you say you're excited about 2024, and let me back up just a little bit. 2023, December of 2022, I was looking at 2023 and I was like, it started before it ended.
Yeah.
It started before it ended. I was looking at things that were happening in September and October, and it felt like we were already there in January. It's crazy. And I feel 2024 is going to be similar, but there's going to be more presence in it. And I'm just curious what you're receiving and again, where your excitement's coming from.
It's so when I go into it, and this is where a lot of readers tend to shy away. And
Hmm.
I come at it head on. So I will tell you, I go through the year and I even go into it even month by month at times, especially when I've got a client who wants to know what it's going to be like for them for the month, for the whole year, month by month. But I will tell you, January, February, March, when I go into those, you are going to be thrust right smack dab into the middle of front and every end center of everything, right? And you're going to feel like, wait a minute, I'm here, I'm on stage. What am I supposed to be doing? The really cool thing about that is even if you don't know your plan, you've got some friends, some heavenly assistants who will help you with that
Hmm.
and get you going. One of the really almost some of the dichotomy in the year is there is a really almost a heavy hitting energy with money and with contracts coming through at the beginning of the year. And it's almost like
Hmm.
we've got these contracts that are coming due of money. And it's like, oh my gosh, I hate spending this money, or what? I didn't know I owed this money on this, or gosh, taxes are more than we thought they were going to be.
Hmm.
So know that it's there, but also know that this year it's almost like, I don't want to say it's a test, but it's like keep the faith, keep your chin
Hmm.
up through this, because you might feel like you've got some pain around money, right? But know that that faith and that strength is going to get you through, because this year also one of the things that you're going to see is, holy cow, those things that I've put in motion as far as manifesting money or going, come on, I'm ready to have some monetary and financial blessings and that prosperity coming through. This is also your year.
Mm.
Really cool is the energy of it is really big. But a lot of times we're going to go, I can't see the how. I don't know how. It's okay. We don't have to know how. They do. But know that you may feel the pain, but you're also going to feel the rewards. And that's a really big thing for this year is, yeah, the first few months, a little bit of a whirlwind, but also excitement with it. Okay.
Mm.
A little bit of that need to be present, because once we get past March, and especially March to September, we've got a really big energy coming through that's really going to say, this is your time. This is your time to shine. And you're really
Mm.
going to feel like things are blooming. I just saw spring come up in the chat box. Yeah, things are going to be in full bloom. You're going to be in full bloom. And it's like, oh, this is my light at the end of the tunnel. This is my silver line. Yes, there really is. And all of those things that you've been wanting to do, guess what? They're coming to fruition. That hard work is paying off. You've had that dream. You've had that passion in your heart. Now's the time to see it through.
Amazing. I swear you're reading me right now. But that's okay. And I love that that's part of the collective. That is fantastic and inspiring. Do you have any suggestions for any times where that faith isn't showing up? There's just like it's like we can get so low, and the agitation of scarcity can run its tentacles in those places that we'd rather not feel. What can we do to be in that place of faith and to breathe in through um, the maturation of that process into really seeing those seeds that we've been planting beginning to take root?
Yeah. Y'all remember, faith is the one thing you can ask for more of and it won't be tested.
Hmm.
One of the things, I mean, gosh, it just felt like, I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. It was like, oh, what else is going to happen? Right. Do y'all ever get in that mood where it's like, oh, right.
Oh yeah.
So I decided, you know what? If this were a shoe factory and I had a bottle over here, I wouldn't close the whole thing down. Right. I'd go back and go, oh, this just needs a little bit more attention. Maybe even just a little bit more energy. Maybe just a little bit more of me being present or me looking at it and saying, we'll get through this. We're going to fix this. It's going to be okay. But the big thing is, remember, ask for more faith. You won't be tested on it.
Hmm.
Ask, and I like to call on Archangel Michael, ask him for a little bit more strength, right? But one of the biggest things that I've noticed that helps me, this sounds kind of silly, is I think about Buddha, think about
Hmm.
Jesus, I think about, Mother Teresa, shoot, even Mother Mary for that matter. And, can you imagine saying your friends and family are going, look, they're going to crucify you. Quit talking this nonsense. You're really ticking off the whole world and they're going to kill you. Just come back inside. Jesus didn't. You know what?
Hmm.
He could have very easily shut the door and said, I'm going to go sit on the couch and have some Doritos, eat bonbons, be safe in my comfy, cozy, wozy home, right? But he didn't. He got back out there and he was like, no, this is what I'm here for, right? This is
Hmm.
my purpose. This is my calling. Yes, I'm going for it. It's not over.
Hmm.
This is the part you're supposed to be on. And sure, we can be like, I mean, there have been times that I said, that's it. I'm closing up shop. I'm not going to do readings anymore. I'm going to go back to selling motorcycles, right? Okay. Y'all should be really, really glad that I'm not doing that anymore. I wasn't very good at it, but I will tell you, I'm much better at readings than I am selling motorcycles. But no, this is when you have that passion in your heart, it's there for a reason.
Hmm.
So if we need to reevaluate and kind of take a look around and go, hey, you know, it's not over. Jesus didn't quit. Buddha didn't decide, well, I haven't heard enough. I'm just going to leave this tree and go back to my hut. No, I mean, he said, we're here for this. We know that we have a calling.
Hmm.
Don't quit before the miracle happens. Ask for more faith, ask for more strength. Give me a call. I'll tell you who's around you and how they're cheering you on. And I gotta say this, September is a tricky month coming up in 2024. And you may almost start to just say, well, there's no point in even trying anymore. The year's almost over. Don't let yourself get into that rut. So plant the seed right now. Let September be your next new year. Okay. Give
Nice.
yourself that motivation. If you've got a calling, if you are a dancer, if you have a business, take 20 minutes at the beginning of every day and get in alignment. And there are times that you can say, what is it I need to know today to keep me motivated to go out there and keep dancing, or to go out there and continue teaching, these kids, or to keep fulfilling my entrepreneurial role, right? Take 20 minutes to start remembering why you're doing it in the first place. And when we think about that why, we might even go, well, what was my why to the why? A friend of mine, she says, no, I take it a step further. What's my why to the why to the why?
I
It's
love that.
a little confusing at times, but you're here for a reason, and that passion doesn't die. So don't allow yourself to snuff it out, and just keep being open. Yeah.
And that passion, someone just wrote, I'm retired. And that passion doesn't extinguish as we age. It's not like, oh, my life's done. I don't know what to do now. It's like there's so much to really experience.
Yeah. And okay, I know I'm not the only person who does this, but when you catch yourself Googling stuff on the internet, and the next thing you know, it's 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and you go, oh my gosh, I've just spent all this time doing this. I didn't even realize how I was going. That is something you're passionate about. That is something you need to start exploring more. I can't tell you the number of clients who've said, I just start reading about angels and seeing things on TikTok about miracles that have happened or angel encounters, and they're like, the next thing I know, it's 3 hours later, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. It's like, oh, you gotta get some sleep, right? Follow it. Follow your passion. What are those things that you could do all day that you go, I can't believe they're paying me money to do this, right? That's where you're being drawn. Get out of your
I
head, get in your heart.
I love that. I love the way that you explained that. There's so much I want to extrapolate from what you just shared. And I'm guided first of all. Part of what Kourtney is doing now is she's teaching people who are really adept and tapping into their wisdom, and they're becoming certified through her process. And you're going to learn a little bit more about that later. Not the certification, but the opportunity to have readings with a couple of our certified practitioners and also of Kourtney. So that's in the special offer. We're going to go through that later. But I love that you've created this because you're really giving a vehicle for people who couldn't necessarily find an outlet or find a path where they could use their gifts. And you're giving them that roadmap to be able to tap into that passion and to be of service, but in the joy of service. And in that, they're really stepping up to an aspect of their own leadership that maybe they didn't even know they have, or they were felting, but didn't know how it could be articulated. And it's so powerful because we all get to benefit from the spiritual maturity once we step in and say yes to that passion. It's just a beautiful example of what's possible. And as you talked about Christ and Buddha and what they could have done, again, for me, that's part of like, no, we get to step in. There's purpose behind this. I'm not just here to like buy my time until eventually I go back home, if you will, if you want to call it that. There's something else that's here for me that in the wonder and awe of it, I get to have a vitality to whatever time I do have here.
It's something. So my kids have been out of school for 2 weeks and will be out for another week. And the lack of structure can drive me crazy, to be totally frank with you. And one of the things we started doing was when we first wake up in the morning, my 6-year-old and my 10-year-old daughters, half the time they come get in bed with me, right? John, you didn't ever have that happen with your girls when you were, when they were little, sneaking in your bed, right? Y'all remember those days?
Oh yeah.
So my alarm goes off and I reach over and I usually have a meditation that I do right when I wake up. And so my little ones, they love doing the meditation with me and they'll say, okay, mommy, can you tell us what are we going to do today? How is our day going to look? And especially with them being out of school, I really had to say, okay, yeah, we've got to get some kind of structure in this and start about at the end of the day, what do I want to look back on my day and say I accomplished? And I got to tell you, y'all, you are here for a reason. And instead of just letting your days unfold, sure, it's great. And that'll work and get you through life. But man, you want to start feeling productive. You want to start feeling that enthusiasm, motivation, passion again. When you wake up in the morning, go, okay, what do I want to have accomplished by the end of the day? And work backwards. The end of the day today, what do I want to have done? Oh my gosh, you're going to totally start to really open. You're going to see things happen. You're going to go, oh my gosh, I wasn't even planning for that to happen. It happened. And it's being present in that moment. It really forces you to be present. So John, it even comes back to what you were saying, earlier about being present and being aware. So that's a really great tip that we've started implementing here with my kiddos and really getting us all on track.
Well, and again, that presence is so instrumental because in that presence, as we decide to be intimate with it, to really be in the stillness within ourselves, within that meditation, within being aware of how, what we want to create, just based on the feeling. Not only does it start to facilitate that within which what we want, but that presence and intimacy becomes available through our friendships, through our family, through people who become our friends that we don't know yet. There's a richness that becomes available when we learn how to be that present with ourselves and intentional with it.
Yeah. And that's really when you find yourself serving at the highest level. Because you're
Yeah.
there.
So amazing. So amazing. So 2024, the potential wobble that can happen because of the political climate in the United States. We have an election year, and it is going to be, we know that the parties here in the United States have been in opposition just to be in opposition. It's not even over what's right and what's wrong. It's like, if you're for that, I'm against that. My party is right and your party is wrong. And if your party decides to do something, we're going to say no to it whatsoever. That division in the field has been so strong. So a presidential election with so much turmoil from the last one still in the field. How do you feel that's affecting the collective 2024? Because it doesn't just affect us here in the US, it affects the whole world.
I feel like it brings in a level of fear, just flat out fear, just afraid, uneasy, untrusting. And, it's interesting. When I am able to kind of take a step back, and I started voting when I was 18, right? So if I go from the time I was 18, if I get really honest with myself, and I'm going to hopefully not tick off anybody when I say this, and I think about the elections, were there any elections that really directly affected me?
Thank you. Same.
Right? And not to say that I'm just a total moron, okay? But I will tell you, I try not to go down the rabbit hole of politics because I will spiral out. It's not healthy for me. But I have to do my part have to get educated. I have to research. I have to decide who I'm going to vote on, who's the best for my choice, for my family, for where I am, right? And make that difference that way. But if I start really kind of freaking out, I'm not helping anybody.
Right.
And so I have to remember that there have been very few things. Is that airplane? I can hear it, right?
It is, yeah.
The chickens and the airplanes. But I have to remember, if this person wins or this person wins and it's not the person I voted for, the sun is still going to come up in the morning. I'm still going to continue doing what I'm doing. I may pay higher taxes and cuss a little bit more, or you know what? I may have more time to spend with my family. Looking for the positive is the best way I have found for myself to really go at it, because if I don't stay above the chaos, and y'all stay with me on this, okay? Because I know it sounds kind of woo-woo, but if I don't stay above the chaos and I get sucked into it, I am feeding that division in the country world. And let me tell you, it can get fierce. So remind yourself to stay above the chaos, rise above, right? And remember, so much of it is in God's hands. We have to do what we can do, but if I be educated, just don't let yourself go down that rabbit hole and get into the anger. That would be my biggest piece of wisdom for you.
I think that's a great piece of wisdom, and I'm on the same boat as you are. I've held the same belief about elections. I like to get educated as much as I can, as best I can with the time that I have, and also follow what feels right in my heart simultaneously, and not get agitated. When the elections happened 2 elections ago, it's like, oh, wonderful, an acceleration of a timeline. Okay, here we go. When the last one's happened, it's like, okay, makes sense. We'll see what happens with this, and then a little more stability. This one seems so much, there's so much in the air about it. Yeah. It's like, there could be a lot of polarity, but there's something that's coming through that I don't think anybody expects, perhaps, is what I'm feeling. But we shall see. But what you're saying, more importantly, is to let's not get caught up in the waves of the emotionality that others may be feeling just because they're feeling it. Really, what's ours, and how can we bring in our leadership? We're looking for leadership outside of us, but how can we be leaders and holding that higher vibrational state, those things that we're looking for? How can we be an example of that, rather than falling into somebody else's psyche and thinking that that's where it has to be perpetuated? Yeah, if we're on these calls, we know that we have to know that we're here knowing that love is the answer.
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
and having that be your overarching theme, your worthy ideal, right? That goal that you may not ever fully achieve, but it's that ideal love.
Is there a wave of consciousness, and perhaps that's too broad of a question to ask, but is there like an acceleration of consciousness, like a place that we're reaching in what we're capable of accessing from a higher perspective, connecting with our guides, that the angels may have to share with us, that may excite us about the potentials that we have to be in a place where the veil is that much more thinner?
There is, so when I look at it energetically and I see, okay, like let's say here's the earth right here in this level, there is this wave of consciousness. This is the do-gooders, right? The light workers, the ones who are really, really coming up, really trying to maintain that integrity with what they're aligned to. And I know, believe me, I live in Houston. I've been in Houston traffic. I know how easy it is to get derailed. But y'all holding fast to that and bringing in that light and that love and coming back to center, and this is for the greater good, And this is what's in alignment with me and with my higher calling, right? This is part of my solution. Don't give up on it, y'all. Just stay in there. Keep holding that light because it is going to come through. It is going to break through. Whether or not, there are so many people across the whole globe right now who are working on this, and it's lifting, and it's lifting, and it's lifting. February, we're going to have like a little bobble, and we're all going to, kind of freak out for a little bit. But really, March and April, we start to feel, and I know light workers is such almost a cliche, vague term, but those of us who are awakening, transcending, all of that, who are spiritually minded, right? You're gaining momentum, really, and you can see it, and it's coming through, and it's coming through, and it's coming through. And I really feel like by May and June, you're gonna start seeing that it's gonna be like, yeah, hey, this person and we're like-minded, and so is that person. Boy, I never would have thought that person was, but we really are, and we're getting strength in numbers, and it's growing, and it's getting better. Yes, it is. Please don't give up. Don't quit before the miracle. Keep going.
I feel that very strongly also, Kourtney. I'm so grateful you shared that. Thank you. Kourtney, I want to get into some live Q&A with the audience. We'll start taking some live calls here in a minute, y'all. I want to go through the opportunity to have a session with Kourtney one-on-one or one of her certified readers, because that's the special offer today as part of Predictions Week. Let's get you tuning in with your angels and being with Kourtney, and also learning a little bit more about how certified readers. So there's different ways to do so. And if you click in the chat box, if you're watching this on our site, just click on the special offer link or go down to the chat box and open it up, and you'll find the link down below, or open up the special offer page on beyondtheordinaryshow.com/Kourtney32. My God, 32 seasons. Kourtney with a K, y'all. And it'll take you to that same page. And Kourtney, tell us about your certified readers, 20-minute readings, what'll happen there. And then, of course, the opportunity to work with you as well, one-on-one.
So you may just have one really quick question, and you just need, 20 minutes. And that my certified readers, they are amazing at. You will get on a Zoom or a phone call with them, whatever your choice. And they'll start off with a prayer and tell you what the angels are showing them, relay any messages that are coming through. But then we turn it over to you, so you can ask whatever question you want to ask, and you will have a full 20 minutes with them where they are going to be relaying as much as they possibly can. You can ask them about predictions. I have found more and more psychics or readers are staying away from prediction. A little bit of fear in there. We're heading it face on, just right into it, head on, facing it and going at it. So if you want to know, hey, can you see when this looks like it's going to change? Or is this person the one, right? Know that they are trained and very skilled in giving timelines and outcomes and things like that. And they've got it for 20 minutes. And the really cool thing with them is you can go back and get more readings with them over and over and over again, because they'll have their calendars open during the week, on the weekend. Really some great times and a lot of flexibility with their times, whereas my schedule isn't quite as flexible as theirs, because I do still have 2 little kids at home that I have to get off the bus. And so my day is a little bit earlier than theirs.
Amazing, y'all. I'm buying a couple of sessions, y'all. I'm signing up because I need to have my reading with Kourtney. So looking forward to dropping in on that. So April, will you buy 2 of the offers for me with Kourtney, please? I'm not hogging the readings, y'all. I'm just saying, I'm excited about it. And I didn't get a chance to do it earlier, so I want to make sure I get in on the bandwagon as well. The certified readings, y'all, with the certified and Kourtney, tell us a little bit more about your certified readers and what they've been through, because you've opened up this program and you're going through a deep training. So what kind of skill levels are they in, and what is it in the certification that's just been amplifying those that are participating?
You know, every single one of them who go
Mm,
through my certification, they all go, I love it, but I don't know if I have the ability. You know, if
mm,
I do have the ability, I don't know if I have the confidence to say what I think I'm getting. Um, my readers have been with me no no shorter than a year. Most of them are the ones that you're seeing, their 12-month program. Um, Laura and Julissa have both been with me over 2 years. So
mm,
not only do they know how to tune in and talk to the angels and get predictions and find out timelines and really get into the energy. Is this your soulmate, or is this person more of your soulmate? Which job looks better? When is that money coming in? They also are certified mediums. So if you want to
mm,
talk to somebody on the other side, they have that ability too. And I got to tell you, they can get very, very specific to the point that it'll almost kind of, we've had a couple of clients who've been like,
mm,
oh my gosh, how did you know it? That kind of stuff. So their skill level is very, very good. They've had lots and lots of practice, and not just practice of them going out doing readings. Yes, they've had that, but where my certification program is different is I tune in with them. So when we have a class and they're tuning into a guest sitter, I'm tuning in with them. And there have been times that I've said, okay, you see that energy line coming up above the shoulder and off there to the right, that's another lifetime. Let's go into that, and
mm,
they've been able to look into those, and let's go into this destiny line. And behind that destiny line, there's another one. What does that one look like? Where you can say, well, if I take this job, how's it going to look? If I marry this person, how's it going to look? Where you can actually kind of get a feel for both ways, right? So that's really, really super cool. And they are very skilled in being able to do that. We had one of my readers in the class during with us, a sitter and everything. There were two or three other readers. So I think there were like four readers on the call, the guest sitter, myself, and everybody picked up that she was getting a new job, that she had a new job, that she loved this new job. But my two readers who are on the website, and you're going to be able to have the opportunity to get a reading with them. Those two, Julissa and Laura, both said, "Oh, we're picking up that there's a change in the job. And this looks to be in about 6 months from now." And they both picked up on it. And she wrote back and she said, oh my gosh, y'all saw that. My manager bailed and we brought in somebody new, and everybody started quitting thinking it was going to be horrible. But y'all had told me this would happen. And I stayed on and I got a promotion because it's even better now.
mm.
Those kinds of things are really, really cool. I just got an email from a client today, and she said, Kourtney, I don't know if you remember me or not, but way back in 2021 or 2022, my son was experiencing some medical crises. And she said, you told me that you saw it ending and you gave me the number 2. And she said, you're right. It was 2 years. We haven't had anything happen since then. And she said, I'm just so grateful to you for being able to say, yes, I see it ending. Not diagnosing, not saying here's what's going on, because I don't have a medical background, but being able to say, yeah, that energy is leaving, it's ending. And it looks like 2 years from now. Sure enough, she said, yes, we haven't had another episode. So that's been really, really great to hear some things like that. Another one of my clients, we just found out a couple of weeks ago. She said, Kourtney, she said, I'd written my book and I wasn't sure which way to go. You told me, do this promotion package. She said, and now I'm on Barnes and Noble, top sellers.
Wow. Oh,
So
amazing.
really, really exciting. Those kinds of things that, and if y'all ever had a reading with me and something's come to fruition, please let me know. I love to hear
Mm.
the stories, because a lot of times I don't know. I won't know the outcome unless you email me back, unless you tell me. So it's really, really nice to hear that, yes, something did come to fruition. Something was what manifested or what came through.
I love those stories in math, and I love just how thorough your people, the authenticity, integrity in which it lands, and the way that you hold them to step into the capacity that they have, they're just maybe a little hesitant or shy about it for whatever reason, and it comes out. And Tara even wrote in. I had a reading recently with Laura. She was amazing, and I know Tara's pretty has pretty good standards about who she reads with, and very strong opinions on who's good and very sincere about who's not. So that's wonderful confirmation right there from someone that I know well also. So y'all, the special offer for the readings, 20 minutes with certified reader, $97 on Beyond the Ordinary. It's crazy amazing for that price point. And to work with Kourtney, which is such a gift, for 30 minutes, $197. I hope y'all take advantage of it. Drop in, ask those questions, be prepared to ask some hard questions. Kourtney can tune in. Sometimes we show up for these and we're just, I don't know, kind of things. But if there's really things in your heart, even if you hesitate on asking, or even if you're afraid to know the answer, I love those questions, because to have someone hold your hand through that vulnerability, right? It's not, it's like sometimes we don't want to know, but wow, to be empowered and held in love, those spaces, it's spirit is here to assist us. Spirit is working through Kourtney to assist you. Take advantage of it. Allow that love to show up in the way that you can receive it so beautifully. And again, the special offer is there for you. The link is in the chat box. Click on the special offer link on the page. You'll get to the same page and book your session. Take advantage of it. And Kourtney, could we go ahead and start with some live calls, or is there something that you wanted to share before?
I love knowing that I have prepared my readers, and that I've told them, you know, there are going to be things that you don't want to say. And it happens. And I have said before in my readings, man, this is not the kind of message I want to deliver to you, because I want everything to be perfect and wonderful for you. But really what your angels are telling me is, you have a choice if you want to stay at this career, you know, or if you want to do something else, or things like that. And one of the things I've also noticed is, they asked me during the training, they said, Kourtney, I know that, you know, we never diagnose, prescribe, and we have all the waivers and, you know, the things that you sign off that says we're not giving medical advice. So, but is there ever one answer that always comes through for any particular thing? And I said, well, what do you mean? And she said, I'm really worried that somebody's going to ask me, should I get a divorce? Like, oh, great. So as we started tuning into that, there have only been, and I can probably count them on one hand, where the angels came through and strongly encouraged the people or supported them in leaving their current situation. So I want you to know that there's not an always and a never on this. It's not like the angels say, nope, you always stay in that marriage, or no, don't you ever get a divorce. So I want you to know that, because a lot of times we get caught up in maybe something religious we were brought up with, you know?
Right.
So know that your angels, they're not seeing things through a religious filter. They're not seeing things through what society deems right or wrong. Okay. They are seeing things from the highest vibration. And when they look at you, they want you to have the most wonderful, happiest, joyous life. They don't want anything to hold you back from living your best life, right? They want you to be on your path. And so when they're talking, they're always coming from a position of love. And that's, you know, y'all are all spiritually minded, or you wouldn't be here on John's call, right?
Right.
But, you know, you may be nervous. Do I want to have a reading? What if this was one of my favorites? You're just, don't tell me I'm going to die tomorrow. Okay. I promise you, the angels have never, ever, 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 ever told me or any of my readers that someone was going to die the next day. They've never even said they're going to die this day. Okay. We can see the energy of it and the messages they give us. They've never told us anything like that. So I don't want you to feel like, oh, I just don't want bad news. Okay. Because frankly, they don't give us bad news. They'll say, hey, we can see that your happiness is a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10 here. Boy, it could go up to an 8 if you went over here, right? And they're not going to say, you need to do this, you should do this, you ought to do that, because that would imply criticism or judgment. So they really don't say, you should have done that. They don't do I told you so's or anything like that.
Mm.
They just want the best for you.
Mm. Thank you for sharing that, Courtney. Can y'all feel that in your hearts? Can you feel the peacefulness and the safety and the support around that, right? So wonderful. All right, y'all. Well, with that information, y'all ready for some live Q&A to be called on? All right, Mandy, let's start with you. Welcome to the call.
Okay, I think I'm unmuted. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi, John. Hi, Courtney. Thanks for having me.
Hi,
Yeah, it's
honey.
wonderful to have you here. What is your question for Courtney?
So I feel like it's simple, but could be really profound. I was told that there is a diamond I'm going to uncover. Can you help me understand what that means?
Okay. Tell me, and ladies, none of y'all look your age. Okay. So when I ask you what your age is, it is just so I can energetically go straight to where you are. And a lot of times they'll tell me if there's, oh, this is a pivotal year or that was a pivotal year. So if you'll tell me your age and geographic location, that'll help me go straight to your energy.
Okay, my age is 37 and I live in Michigan, United States.
Okay. When I go into this, yeah. Wait a minute. Okay. So I want to know, do you have a diamond buried in your backyard? That's what I'm thinking, right? So when I'm asking about this, Archangel Michael is talking about a diamond in the rough. So know that there's some symbolism with this. And the way they communicate with
Yeah,
it,
I feel that.
it can be straight up, this is real, or it can be symbolic. Okay. So keep that in mind. Pardon me. I do feel like you've got a diamond in the rough, but I got to tell you, I also feel like this diamond in the rough also has to do with a diamond in a romantic relationship. And when I'm going into this, they're telling me the age 54 is going to be a pivotal age for you. Now,
Did you say 54? I'm sorry, you broke up.
yes, 54.
Okay.
And know that this is positive. Okay. This isn't, oh, you're going down. Okay. No, this is a great benchmark for you, all this kind of stuff. But I feel like there is somebody who it is part of your soul contracts, part of your life purpose, someone you are helping to not just recognize there's good in life, but realize their own self-worth. And I feel like whether this is your child who you are nurturing and fostering this evolvement and growth from, and a spouse sees this, they're not giving me specifics on that, but know that it's very rewarding for you mentally, emotionally, intellectually, spiritually. But I do also feel like there is a physical, even financial, if you wanted to say, reward with this.
Okay.
Makes sense?
That's great information. Thank you so much. And a lot of it does resonate already. I feel like there's a lot of dots that connected there. Very interesting to see what happens when I'm 54.
Hopefully it won't take that long. Just tuck that age way in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
All right,
Sounds good.
Mandy.
Thank you so much.
It's wonderful to meet you. Happy New Year.
Yeah, thanks. You too.
Right. Let's continue on to our next caller. Jennifer, welcome to the call.
Hey, hi, thank you so much. Hi, Courtney.
Hello, beautiful. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. So, I did have a reading with with you and your two, well, I think it was like four readers, back whenever my mama passed in September.
Hmm.
So, it was a beautiful reading, exactly what I needed. And so my age is 45 and I'm in Austin in Texas. And in that time period of her passing and then losing my uncle passing as well, It's kind of like things have been on hold financially. I've been struggling like crazy. I teach yoga, and when I moved back to Austin, I was hoping, like, I followed my dreams, and I'm teaching in the two places that I love, and that, lights me up. And it's not providing the financial means that I need to even survive, you know? Um, so any guidance as far as
Yeah. There's a
where,
lot of music around you. Not that you not like physically you can hear it, but there is a lot of music around you. And I do feel like you've got someone else coming in who still has health and wellness in that energy, but I almost feel like they're saying, will you, and I'm probably gonna say all the wrong words, okay, but like, would you be interested in teaching a Zumba class, or would you want to come in and teach like a hip hop class? We've got such a demand for people wanting to have, more fun in their workouts. So know that there's something like that. There is a male energy, masculine energy, male energy, or male person who's coming in, and I feel like he comes to you and he says, will you help me out on this? And Jennifer, I just really feel like this is something that in your heart would be fun. And it's one of those things that you go, I can't believe I'm getting paid to do this, because it's so just fun. So it wouldn't surprise me if I like opened up and saw you on one of those reels or one of those TikTok videos of you and somebody, dancing in different places all over America or all over the world. I get addicted to those. I'll sit there and watch and go, no rhythm. How can they do that? But it could very easily be something like that. I do feel like the yoga is there, it stays there, it feels very stable, but I feel like it's almost taking a back seat to this new higher vibration, higher energy. It even feels like it's a little bit more active energy that's coming in for you. And soon.
Beautiful.
Like, what's today? Today's
Today's the
Tuesday?
2nd, Tuesday. No, Wednesday.
Okay.
Tuesday, you're right, Tuesday. I'm so confused. Yes.
I'm not the only one who all day just jacks me up. I feel like you may have information on this coming in by next Tuesday.
okay.
Interesting. Kourtney, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
It's Jennifer, I feel such a tenderness around your mother's passing. Is that still very much alive in your heart?
So there was a lot of grief, and now I think I'm more frustration phase, but it's because I'm so disappointed in myself and where I am in my life. And all I ever wanted was to make my mama proud. And I know she's proud of me, but it's really hard for me when I'm struggling financially the way that I am to be proud of myself. And so, and then it makes
There you
me
go.
angry for, you know, so-
Can I throw something out? We have a tendency to berate ourselves and compare, and we always want our parents' approval, right? I mean, as much as we go, no, I don't care, we still want it, right? But when we start to compare ourselves to what we think we should be doing, it crushes our hope. So if we can compare ourselves to maybe where we were 5 years ago, okay, how many friends do we have? Do we have better friends, better relationships? Compare yourself where you are intellectually, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. Sure, look at your financials as well. But when you want to make a change, please, y'all, stop just being so hard on yourselves and so mean to yourself.
Yeah, the progression of what we consider a success is changing dramatically. And I can tell you a prediction for this year and the coming years is the currency in which our abundance is measured is shifting from a financial model to a spiritual model. And that's happening for the world, not just for us as a metaphor. How we trade our services and our gifts and our awareness and our emotions and our integrity, that's going to be the standard by which we live, not how many zeros we have in the account and what we can buy with that. And so what you speak of, Kourtney, it's like a measuring success. It's like, where were we yesterday or a year ago, 3 years ago? For me, it's like, wow, I'm so much in my integrity compared to where I was 5 years ago. It's not that I was out manipulating things, but even the integrity of self and what was true for me, and the people pleasing or the trying to fit into something or giving up something for the sake of gaining something else, and even the little subconscious places of doing that, and the awareness so much more how I'm stepping even to more truth and integrity, into that alignment that feels so empathetically and attuned with the guidance that I receive from not just my guides, but my soul's calling. It's profound. And if you measure success in that way, I bet you're quite successful, Jennifer. All of y'all on the call. Yeah. Kourtney, you were going to say something.
Oh, and she's got a dog around her, and I can't tell if the dog's
Okay.
spirit or real, but
It's a real dog and house sitting for somebody right now.
okay.
Interesting.
You have animal communication abilities,
Mm.
and I don't recall if we talked about it during your session, but Jennifer, know that's probably going to pop up this year for you too.
Awesome. All right, Jennifer, blessings to you. Thank you for calling in. It's wonderful to see you. All right, let's continue here. Kelly, let's go to you. Hi, Kelly. And Kelly, let's get you to unmute your microphone, please. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, John. Hi, Kourtney. Sorry about that.
That's
Hi.
right.
Gosh, there feels like there's so many different things to bring up here and ask about. I almost want to just say, what is spirit first, most important for me to know right now? Or do you want me to give you a couple of thoughts?
Yeah, I do want to know. First, go ahead and tell me your age and your location.
57, and I just moved to Clearwater, Florida from Mount Shasta.
Oh,
And
awesome.
what's happened with your writing and your painting, your artistic side?
My paintings are sitting still right now. So it's like takes me 14 months to do one, and the last one is taking longer. And I now need to buy a new easel. So, and I just really started a couple of years ago, so it's not something strong as far as that's concerned. And I'm wanting to do a new podcast and YouTube channel. I think you said writing. Yeah.
All of your logical analytical is blocking the flow of your right brain, your creativity, your artwork. Know that Archangel Gabriel, and he's the angel over artists, communicators, teachers, dancers, singers, all of that good stuff. He is going to start nagging you, and you're going to feel this nag to get a new easel, to get outside, to do some of your paintings, to do some of your writings, because that was part of the whole shift and the whole reason you came to Florida. Are you aware of that?
Well, I can feel I was like, I almost was going, what about a book? Like, I haven't gotten even to that yet. And so, yeah, I can definitely feel, right? It's podcast time. It's time to get my voice out there. It's just, yes.
Yes. So, I love this. Your angels are like, here's what's got to happen. Know that when we write things down, it's an outward sign we are ready to receive. So know that if you start writing down, these are my goals for 2024. What's the easiest, fastest way to get there? Know that you will automatically start getting downloads, if you want to call it that. You may start getting random thoughts that kind of come through where you go, oh, on my podcast, I told her she'll go on Zoom. And I have no idea what your podcast is, Kelly. I'm just throwing this out there. But write it down. That way you are telling your angels, I am ready to receive help. I'm ready to receive guidance, and I want y'all to do this. But know that fear is disguising itself as distraction for you.
Mm.
Have you found yourself getting a little distracted?
Well, I just finished moving, so that's been the distraction in this hot moment. But yes, I understand what you're saying.
And it's not the fear of doing it. When I go into it, it's almost like the fear of the expectations. So that's that hope, dream killer, dream crusher of comparison and what you think you should be doing. But for all of us, know that getting distracting. I was supposed to, clean up the upstairs over this holiday break, and I tell you what, everything and its dog has distracted me from doing it. And I was like, oh, that's fear. And I was like, what's that fear really around? And I was like, fear of having to get rid of all this crap and all the stuff I've accumulated. So I understand, I get it. But Kelly, be aware, note that fear is going to try to rear its ugly head and keep you distracted from doing it. So tell yourself, I'm going to spend 20 minutes. And Kelly, you're what we would consider a high achiever. Okay. So get a timer and say, okay, 20 minutes or 30 minutes. That's all I'm going to spend. And I'm just going to set that timer, and I'm going to write down, here are my next, podcast ideas, and just write until that timer goes off, and then stop and put it away and go on to your next thing. What's the next thing to do? I got to get the new easel, or I'm going to spend 42 minutes today painting. Okay. And set the timer. Okay. I challenge all of y'all to do that. Okay.
That's great tool, Kourtney. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kelly, blessings to you. And Kelly, I'm compelled to remind you that you get to take the energies of Mount Shasta with you to Florida.
Oh yeah.
And that you get to anchor that in. And there's energies in Florida that may surprise you, that may be akin to what's available in Shasta as well. So yeah, there's a lot that you're integrating, but a lot that you're stewarding also in that merging of what's available between those two hotspots for you. Beautiful work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's continue. Next caller, Viv, welcome to the call.
Greetings.
And Viv, let's get you. Oh, greetings. There you are. Hi.
I should have said good morning. It's 2 o'clock in the morning now. So, and I'm barely awake. However, I feel that my guides and angels are always around me, and I call them my scratchy people, because they touch me, and they go like this, and they go like this, and they hit me in my eye when I don't do stuff. Just to remind me, stop thinking negative. They go like this. And sometimes I get a clicking in my ears, or I get something that feels like a bolt of lightning or static, and it sort of hits me like this. And sometimes I don't know what they're trying to say to me, basically.
One, I love your accent. I don't even care what you say. You could just
Right.
and I'm
Yes.
So
Hello.
where are you, Viv? Where are you geographically?
UK.
And how old are you?
I will be 63 on Saturday.
63 is the exact number they're giving me. The messages that they have for you. So a lot of this is when we ask, and this is kind of for everybody, when we ask our angels questions, we may ask them, hey, guide us throughout the day. We may say, just let me know when you're around. So a lot of this is them saying, we are here, we are around you, for you to recognize it. So when you hear these little clicking sounds, or you get the tap on your shoulder and no one's there, or you hear your name called and no one's at the door, acknowledge that it's your angels, because at some point you asked for this. Okay. So thank them. Hey, thanks. I hear you. Great. I know you're around me now. where is my energy most productive today? Where should I focus my energy? And know that if you are hearing something and it's after you've acknowledged them, then it is them getting your attention and them saying, continue going this way or change. And what you're going to have to do is close your eyes, drop into your heart space and say, are you wanting me to continue on this path or change? Most likely it's going to be change
Mm.
when I'm tuning into your energy. Because when you're on your path and you're in that flow, Viv, you're just going to feel more of your heart expanding. And you're really, really psychic, by the way. You'll feel almost like your heart opening and feel like you're just kind of being pulled energetically into the flow.
Hmm.
Does that make sense? Does that sound too woo-woo?
No, not at all. No, I have been speaking to a client, counselling, and both of us at the same time got that bolt of lightning. I got hit in the eye, she got hit in the leg. We both went, oh! So, and basically she goes, oh, it's funny you should say that. I just went to the opticians and they said, you know, there's something with my eye. And I said, yes, I know, I felt it. They hit me in my eye to tell me that happened. So I come to that conclusion. Do they call it clairsentient, where I feel things? I don't
Yes.
know. Yes.
And Viv, one of the things that I teach my readers, my students is because you're an empath, clairsentient, the feeling, you want to make sure that if you're picking up on somebody else's pain, discomfort, acknowledge it, but release it. Yes, I felt the pain in my eye, but I release it. Thank you. I acknowledge it. I release it. Because healers will tell you it will drain you, it will take you down, and you don't want to hold on to that because you too will start to have those ailments. Okay, so acknowledge it, thank them, and release. Okay.
Yes.
Viv,
Yes.
thank you so much for being on the call.
Welcome. Thank you. Thanks, Kourtney.
Yeah,
Thanks, John. Yeah.
you're very welcome. And also thank you for inspiring joy, your connection with joy. And I really feel that's a calling as well as we're moving forward, that tapping into joy, and that just because someone else may be suffering doesn't mean that we get to neglect our joy to meet them where they were. There's actually an aspect of leadership that holds a portal open, a doorway open for others, so that they can see with faith it embodied through another. So I feel that part of our leadership, no, I don't feel, I strongly know that part of our calling is to be a conduit for what's possible in our potentiality through joy, through love, through passion, and the purpose that gets ignited from that. And again, that's something that you're teaching so beautifully, Kourtney, with your certified readers and other people as well.
Yeah. And the only thing that gives me joy is singing. I love to sing.
Beautiful.
Yes, and I've joined a choir, and it just really gives me energy, and I come back energized. And yeah, I love singing. So yeah.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Thank you, love. Wonderful to have you here.
And you, thank you.
All right, before I go to the next caller, a couple things. Some of y'all are typing questions into the chat, which is wonderful. When you type it in, if you typed in a question, if you wouldn't mind typing it again with your full name, where you live, and your age, so that I can properly give that information to Kourtney, and we can try to take some chat questions as well. April, I'm going to ask you to put the link in for the special offer one more time in the chat box. Y'all, the certified readers with Kourtney, the opportunity to have a reading with Kourtney is available through the special offer. And what a gift to yourself at the beginning of the year. Again, I'm excited. I'm getting on the calendar the second we hang up from this call. I don't want to be rude and do it now, but I really want to. I'll wait. But I want to get on the calendar quickly. So again, y'all take advantage of that. And it's truly a gift. We haven't done a predictions week like this, or had the offers that we'd have the readings like this available this quickly in the beginning of the year. And I was inspired to reach out and ask Kourtney to be the first person on. So y'all will be the first people that have access to the special offer today, being here live. And those of y'all listening to the replay immediately afterwards. So again, take advantage of that special offer. And now, if we will, let's go to Joshua. Joshua, find that unmute button. And what's your question for Kourtney?
Aloha.
Well, your location and age first, yes.
My location is McKinleyville, California, and I am 37 years young. And
Love it.
my question is, I'm about to move to Big Island, January 8th, and I'm curious for any guidance around my musical career on like some grounded action steps to take when I get there.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Who is the letter A you're meeting up with, or who's helping you? It almost sounds like Alex, but I can't tell if it feels like more of a masculine, a stronger energy, but it doesn't mean it's not a woman. So let me be clear. This could be a woman with a very masculine energy. But the letter A, do you know who it is they're telling me about?
I don't.
Okay. Whenever I see you, one of the things they're saying is when you are practicing your music or when you are just chilling, oh, now I sound like an idiot. They're showing you, they want you down at the base of the mountain and the mountain at your back. And so I'm seeing this, and then I was just like, but wait a minute, if the mountain's in the middle of the island, anywhere he sits is going to be the mountain in his back. So I sound like a complete and total moron. So I apologize for that, Joshua. But people want to hear you. So if you're on the beach, if you're just chilling, if it's a guitar, if it's a ukulele, whatever it is, get out there and play. Remember, it's all energy, okay? So even if it's your thought, even if it's your sound, it's going to go until it hits something else, right? So that wish of wanting your music out there, speak it into existence. But I do see you meeting up with somebody, whether this is an agent, a producer, and the letter A is coming through on this. So hit the ground running. Okay, so solid steps. 1, get your goals written down. 2, where is it that you are finding yourself pulling back, doing these action steps? And know that that's going to be fear. So if you find that you're not calling and following up on calls, or you're not doing open mic night, whatever it is, find out where the resistance is, okay? And that's going to be your key, because that's where your fear is. Okay, there's a lot. I would really encourage you to get a longer reading, a longer session.
I got the chills.
A lot of information coming through for you, Joshua. Know that there may be a lot of excuses that come up in your mind, or things you're hearing on the why things aren't happening. Write them down and throw them away. You don't have to burn it. You don't have to bury it, but get rid of those. Okay. Get rid of these excuses, because a lot of them are fake. And there's a lot of information coming through for you on this one. It's, there's a story, that we almost have to live with whenever people who are destined to achieve or have the potential to achieve, let's say, greatness or excel in their career field, they have to have the horror story, the hard luck story. I lived in my van. I got, evicted 6 times, and I declared bankruptcy 8 times, right? We've heard these things, right? You have to have this huge overcoming. Don't let that be your story, Joshua. You
Nice.
don't have it, okay? Let go of that. You can move to Hawaii, and the first person you meet is a music producer, and the first thing that you produce, record, get out there, hits #1, and you become an instant celebrity. You don't have to live in your van. You don't have to, starve and scrounge out of trash cans. So that's one of the biggest things they want you to keep on the forefront is it can be easy for you. It doesn't have to be a hard luck story. Okay.
I love that, Kourtney. It's Joshua, I live in Hawaii, and I experienced that poverty mentality on island a lot. A lot of artists that think that they have to walk, they have to have the beach bum living out of the van type of look and kind of play in little circles and whatever. And it's, and like you say, Kourtney, it's an excuse of not stepping out in a bigger way in different ways. And comparison that comes out because of all these other amazing beings that have their own artistry, that then we start comparing ourselves to others. So how can I be received if they're not? Or they're so much better, and all these other things. And it's all just this ploy to hold us back from expression, our true joy, and what we can do with that, and stepping into our mastery. So Joshua, come back and listen to the replay. I highly encourage you to do that. And the link for the special offers in the chat box. Click on it and check it out, and book something soon if you're compelled to. Blessings to you, brother. Good luck.
Yes, thank you. Thank you both so much. Aloha. Thank you, Kourtney.
Aloha.
Yeah.
Kourtney, you're
Super
so
helpful.
amazing. You're so cool. Let's continue here. Christine Huber is 65 in Wisconsin and wants to know if she will ever meet Mr. Right.
How are we spelling her name? C or a K?
Christine. Christine.
Christine. Yes. And stop staying hidden. And I know that sounds almost completely opposite of your personality, but there is an aspect of you that is wanting to stay hidden, wanting to stay sheltered. Here's the other part to that. This hidden, sheltered energy that's coming over you is because Mr. Right's going to lift you up and everything's going to be wonderful. That's the energy you're looking for. If we are willing to consider a different thought, let that energy of everything being wonderful be there and live in it right now, and let Mr. Right add to the joy, the excitement, and let you come out of your shell. Does that make sense at all? Does that resonate with you, Christine?
Let's get you right in, Christine.
I would love to hear this. And I got to tell you, there's no shortage of people lining up to be with you, to be out with you. You have a great personality, ambiance just in yourself. People like to be around you. So know that you're a likable person and you're attracting people. But energetically, you've got something that's keeping you hidden. So ask your angels to remove this and for you to start living in that joy and experiencing that joy that's around you right now, because that's going to attract that higher vibration of what you would consider Mr. Right, Mr. Wonderful. Okay.
Beautiful. And she said, yes, this is resonating for her.
Good.
So beautiful, Christine. I'm excited for her. Thank you, Kourtney, for that reading. Marie wrote in. This is interesting. She's 58 years old, Marie, Mari. She lives in Seattle. And all right, let me read her question and comments. Is it possible to have been cursed? And if so, how can it be lifted? Or have I just been clearing a lot of karma this lifetime? I also have been feeling like I've had a soul swap and wonder if that can happen. One soul left and a new one came in.
Yes. Okay, so the curses, when I go into you, I'm not seeing any curses. And I'll tell y'all, I'm totally frank with you. When I started doing this, I set up my rules that nothing bad could come in my office. And I had a brick and mortar place where I worked, and I had a hurricane brought an influx of New Orleans native people to Houston. And in 1 week, I had like 5 or 6 clients come in to ask me about curses. And I was like, what are y'all talking about? And at first I was like, there's no such thing as a curse. Don't, but because my rule was nothing negative could come in my office, I could not see a curse. It wasn't until I walked over to the window and watched a woman walk out to her car that I could see, oh my gosh, she has like this gargoyle bad juju thing on her. So I'm not so naive as to say it doesn't exist, but I will say this emphatically, I do not give energy to it. And I strongly support other people to not give energy to bad juju, okay? when I go into this and I look at you, I'm not seeing any curses. I will tell you, you do have quite a connection with anything galactic or extraterrestrial. You are getting a lot of information in your dreams. So pay attention to those. Get you like a day planner or even post-it notes. Put it by your nightstand. Ask your angels to help you remember your dreams when you wake up in the morning, but also have your pen and paper there, because remember, that's an outward sign we're ready to receive. And write down a couple of words to help you remember your dreams, because you're getting a lot of information in your dreams. As far as being a walk-in, I'm not picking up on that energy. And I'll just say what my understanding of walk-in is where the soul says, I'm done with what I'm supposed to do, and I'm going to go ahead and exit so I can reincarnate or so I can do something else. But that person says, no, I've still got a life to live. Now, is this on a conscious level? Not usually. In most walk-ins, they don't really know it. They feel like something's off. Maybe their allergies have shifted. But as far as feeling like, oh, I'm a new soul walking in, 99% of the time, doesn't happen that way. When I go into this, as far as you being a walk-in, I will tell you, you do a lot of what I might refer to as like astral traveling, interdimensionally. You wouldn't even say jumping timelines. And I feel like, I know this sounds silly, but I feel like a lot of us with ADD or ADHD, it's because we do that. And we are not grounded and rooted into this one thing, because we are going different places all the time. Maybe even they tell us that our memory isn't as good. Well, we got a lot of stuff going on, right? So when I go into this for you, Marie, I'm not seeing necessarily you being a walk-in with a new soul or even a new soul contract for that, but I do see you doing quite a bit of soul traveling, astral traveling, your spirit going to different places, dimensions. It's funny, you've been referred to as a dreamer or even the dreamer. If that resonates with you, I'd love to hear about it. But there's a reason why dreamer and dreams come up so much for you, is you're doing a lot of work in your sleep and you're going a lot of places. So you can ask, and y'all straight up, you could ask your angels and ask your guides, hey, I just want to focus and be present in this lifetime. And they're not going to fly away and never come back. Okay. You can ask to be very clear with what you're doing right now. I have a client and I told her, I said, holy crap, this is so wild. When I'm seeing everything that's gone on with you, you've been doing a lot of work. Your soul's been doing a lot of work here in the ether, let's say. And it's just about done. But your soul isn't going to leave and your body going to die. You've still got stuff to do here. And she was like, well, thank God to hear that. And I said, but know that what's been seeming like taking forever for your human existence to be catching up to all of these things, know that that's really going to be taking the what you're going to feel like is on the forefront of your mind all the time. So if that made sense, if y'all were able to track whatever I was saying, know that that can happen. Makes sense. Did I lose everybody? Also good?
No, that was really good. Thank you, Kourtney, for that. And it's interesting you talked about the gargoyles and those type of energies, because I very specifically saw them in an ayahuasca ceremony when I was in Peru a few years ago. And I can see them spinning around, and I saw how they were hooking on to limiting and beliefs in other participants. I kept very clear of my field, and you can feel them kind of trying to penetrate. It's like, no, I'm not giving you energy. You can't take mine. I'm not going. But then I played with them a little bit in that space. I was like, let me have a limiting thought and see what happens. And I popped up a limiting thought, and they'd like start coming right back towards me. It's like, oh, get limiting thought gone.
Yeah.
And they'd start flying around other places. It was profound.
Yes, and John, you're exactly right. For those of you who can see clairvoyantly or see the energy like that, you will, even if you ever do some people watching, there was a client who, whenever she started doubting herself, I could see it getting thicker and stronger. But whenever that's bad self-talk, right? And she would even move her hand and go like that. She was literally moving that energy away from her, and it couldn't stick. It couldn't stay on her. So if you start noticing your thoughts, change your thoughts. Okay.
Mhm.
That's going to start getting that bad juju off you. Really.
Absolutely. 100%. Kourtney, you're amazing. Y'all, again, the special offer of Kourtney, the readings, her certified readers, just take advantage of it. It's, Kourtney's just second to none. And to have the opportunity to be able to go deeper, and even to have the opportunity to have you here today, Kourtney, with all of us, as you so just generously show up on BTO all the time is so appreciated. So thank you for taking the time. Thank you. I know you have your kiddos at home and so much is going on, and that you said yes to showing up even with so much on your plate. It's just a testament to the heart in which you are yes to loving so many people and trying to bring them more clarity so that they can continue finding clarity within themselves. So thank you for who
Thank
you
you
be,
for
how you
having me.
share. Yeah.
Thank y'all for being here because y'all truly allow me to serve at my highest and to just give it all to you. So thank you.
All right, everyone. Thank you for being here today. Come back and listen to the replay. Kourtney shared so much that we can drop in, and so many tools that we can utilize as we're invoking in, where we're choosing, not just consciously, but subconsciously as well, and implement that so it becomes more conscious, so we become more active creators rather than passive creators in our lives, and know how that can just enrich in your life in so many ways, really tuning into your purpose, your passion, your joy. So come back and listen to the replay. We'll send the link out a little bit later this evening once we've rendered the videos. Again, take advantage of the special offer, and I'll look forward to seeing y'all on our next predictions call. Have a fantastic evening.
Mwah.
Bye, everyone.